Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Melanie Ramdeen, the girl that gives you tips on faith, lifestyle, relationship, and beauty. Now today's video is a little bit different. I want to start a series where Meals with Mellz. I'm going to show you guys how I make some of my favorite recipes that I love to cook. So today you're going to be cooking with me quinoa. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting up some jalapenos. I'll be cutting up some pimentos, some tomatoes, some onions, some garlic. I did add Shadow Beni to it, but I did not put it in the video. It was when I paused the camera. So what are some ways that you guys like to make quinoa? Because I know there's so many different ways, but this is my take on what a Mexican style quinoa would look like. Now, I know everybody is wondering why quinoa. Hey, quinoa is so healthy. It's so delicious. And for me, it's really about the flavors. I've realized if I eat quinoa by itself, it's actually not really as satisfying as when it's infused with herbs and spices and a lot of different vegetables and beans and whatnot. Now, if you're seeing my video is shaking a little bit, I'm sorry. But y'all, my knife is dull. And no matter how much I sharpen it, it's not being sharpened. So for the next video, my goal is to actually have a sharp knife. So here I'm cutting the garlic and I'm just adding it to the bowl of everything that I finished chopped up. And now we're going to move on to do the straining of the peas, which I use kidney beans or red beans. And I also did corn. I love corn. Here I'm showing you the quinoa that I'm using. I use 1 cup. I think 1 cup. Yeah, I think I use 1 cup. Yeah. So 1 cup is what I did, 1 full cup. And it actually made me quinoa to last for basically this whole week. So this is what I eat. I eat it instead of rice. Now I'm just putting a pot on the fire to warm up. I'm going to add some butter to let that evaporate. Guys, I'm not no big cooking chef fanatic. I don't know the terms yet. I'm just adding in the quinoa to be toasted so it can be nice and toasty. And then I'm going to, of course, after it's toasted for a good portion of time, or to my liking or to your liking, I'm just going to add water. Water just simply to cover it, because quinoa is something that you don't strain. Now, fun story. When I first made quinoa, I actually strained it. Here I'm just adding in some chicken bouillon cubes because I felt like it would just give it some flavor. It didn't have enough salt, so I did add a little pinch of salt after just to help enhance the flavor of it. And here my quinoa is boiling and it's cooking. And it's now, you're seeing, it's drying down. So here I'm just going to keep stirring, just keep stirring, because you don't want it to stick and you don't want it to get burnt. So you got to keep stirring so that the water evaporates as you're stirring to get that nice fluffy quinoa that we all love and deserve. So yeah, just keep stirring, guys. Just keep stirring. It's just a matter of technicality at this point. So I think my quinoa is almost done there and it's coming to a nice fluffy state that I like it to be. So we're going to move on shortly to the next part of this video. So here I'm putting up a frying pan. Now, y'all don't come for me. I love to make my quinoa or pasta, anything that I have to mix in a big frying pan. For some reason, I just like to see my food spread out in the frying pan to see everything that I'm making. So I use a little bit of oil here. And I just kind of turn it around in the pan to make sure it's properly coated. And here I'm going to add in, of course, my aromatics so that it can cook and really get nice and fragrant in the pan, so that when my beans and my corn and my quinoa goes in, it's perfect. Also added to my aromatics, I did add some other vegetables as well. So I had a few bits of like Japanese medley garden foods, frozen vegetables in the freezer. So I just threw that in there. There was like string beans, there was like sweet peppers. Yeah, you get the point. So I'm just going to keep stirring until it's time to add in all the other ingredients, right? So just get it nice and translucent and soften. So here I'm making I'm making a space because I'm going to add in the beans now. Yeah, so the beans is something that has to cook a little longer because it's kidney beans, you know? So I just put it in there, let it nice and toasty. I keep pushing it around, you know, of course, how we do it. Adding a little water just for it to steam in that water a little bit. And then, of course, we go in with the seasoning. So I used garlic powder. I used ginger powder. I also used, I think I also added in paprika, chili flakes, all-purpose seasoning. Yeah, those kind of things is what I added to make my quinoa nice and fragrant. Yeah. So, but in this first part, I just added garlic powder and ginger powder. Yeah. So, you see how pretty that's looking already? Wow. That's looking gorgeous. Here comes the quinoa. Oh, it's going in, guys. Oh, it's in. Yep. Quinoa is in. Now, this part can get a little bit messy because the pan is full, so things can start flying out. So, and I had to remind myself that I was making a cooking video, so I can't be knocking my spoon against my pot. I love to do that, and I know it's something that Caribbean parents don't necessarily love. So here I'm going back in with the garlic powder. I'm coming back in with the ginger again. I'm going in again with some chili flakes. Yeah, so here's the chili flakes going in. I'm going in with some paprika. Then I also went in with some all-purpose seasoning here. So just season to your liking. You don't have to use everything that I use, but I love my food seasoned and I love to taste my food like I'm enjoying it. I don't like bland food. I hate bland food. So yeah, this is just me seasoning it to my liking. It's done. Now it's time for me to actually dish it out. So I'm putting it in a glass bowl because I didn't want it to go in a plastic bowl because it's still hot. So I'm putting it in a glass bowl, just dishing it out so I can go and wash up my wares to keep my kitchen nice and clean. So yeah, I just wash it. And then here is my husband. He actually doesn't like quinoa. But he just tasted it for me. I was actually surprised that he gave a good review because I was like, okay, he going to tell me he don't like it, so he doesn't want to taste it. But the fact that he told me he wanted his second bit in his spoon, I was like, yeah, he likes it. Yeah. Once my hubbies approve of it, yeah, I know it's tasting good. So yeah, guys, that's my Mexican style quinoa. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.